Joseph Parker defeats Zhilei Zhang by majority decision to become the new heavyweight WBO interim champion. I had this fight scored for Joseph Parker, as one of the judges did, 114-112. I had him 8 rounds ahead to 4. One judge had it a draw, which means they gave Zhilei Zhang 5 rounds. That's okay, not the way I had it, but it's fine. One judge had it for Joseph Parker 115-111, which means he must have given Joseph Parker every round aside from the 2 rounds he was knocked down in. That is a head scratcher. That judge was not, he did not show up for work today. That was a bad scorecard, but I had this fight scored for Joseph Parker, and he didn't even fight as good of a fight as I expected. He did 2 things I felt he shouldn't do. One is he didn't get on his boxing shoes for this fight. He did what I've said he shouldn't be doing once I saw the weigh-ins, which is he tried to knock Zhilei Zhang out. He was standing in front of him, and he had his left hand down low, like he did when he was with Kevin Barry, trying to imitate a heavyweight version of Roy Jones. I just felt that was suicide. He was giving Zhilei Zhang way too many opportunities. Now, there's no doubt that he was faster, he was quicker, he was fitter, etc., but Zhilei Zhang, again, was 45 pounds heavier than him. He came in at 291 something pounds. Joseph Parker came in at 247.6. You don't stand in front of a big man like that. I was like, why does he not move around the ring more throughout the fight? Because Zhilei Zhang couldn't come close to Joseph Parker when Parker did move around him. It was just so bizarre. I don't know what Parker was thinking, but nonetheless, he lost the first 2 rounds in my book. 3rd round, he actually wobbled Zhilei Zhang, and I thought, okay, that's why he's standing in front of Zhang, because he's confident that he can see Zhang shots coming, counter him, and if he sits down on his shots, he's confident he can wobble Zhang or put him down. But he got caught with one left hand and went down, and it was looking bad for him. He was 4 points down already, but he got up and won, in my opinion, the next 4 rounds, and he was boxing really good. That knockdown woke him up. Joseph Parker is a warrior. He showed that throughout his career, and he did what warriors do. He takes a good shot and he dusts it off, gets back up, and that just wakes him up and makes him angrier, and he becomes a better fighter from that. So he won the next 4 rounds, and I thought, okay, this is what I expected the fight to look like. But then he gets caught in the 8th round in a clinch, and I don't actually know if it was a punch that put him down or if Parker just took a knee because Zhang was leaning his weight on him. I don't know, but that didn't look like a clear knockdown, and I didn't see the replay because either the broadcast froze or the bar I was watching it at froze, because it woke up with 30 seconds into the 9th round. So I missed the replay, and Parker, in my opinion, won all of the next rounds. I saw DraftKings giving Zhang 1 extra round, which would have put him ahead, but I felt Joseph Parker was not only more active, but he was landing cleaner shots. Again, I didn't feel he should have been doing it with his lead hand down, standing in front of Zhang like that. It's just, why not use the attributes you have to your advantage by moving around Zhilei Zhang, who's 40 years old, who went, after 6 rounds, I said this in my pre-fight breakdown, moved slower than a glacier. You're a young man, you're known for having quick feet. Yeah, you're not as fast as you used to be, but you can box circles around this guy. Just throw a million jabs. Don't focus on the right hand to try and knock him out. But it is what it is. Joseph Parker, in my opinion, won. I was certainly nervous for him as the fight was going on, but I also saw that he was confident enough, and he had the right trainer in Andy Lee to give him the right advice. Zhilei Zhang wasn't happy afterwards. He felt he got robbed, and I said this before, I felt Zhilei Zhang lost to Filip Hrgović fair enough, and the first round he got a knockdown which certainly was no knockdown. He actually pulled Filip Hrgović down with his right hand, and the ref called it a knockdown. So, you know, Zhilei Zhang should have he would have lost that fight clearly in the eyes of, I think, most fans if that first round had been called correctly. Here, I can understand people not liking the decision because 2 knockdowns usually means you win the fight, and there were some close rounds in there, but Parker, when he wasn't getting caught by Zhilei Zhang, he was landing the cleaner shots, he was far more active, and I felt that people were giving Zhang maybe a little bit too much credit in rounds 10 and 11, or excuse me, rounds 9 and 10, where I saw DraftKings, and I don't know what Boxing Scene had, but they were giving Zhang one of those rounds because of his power. And yeah, he did land some power shots. Every time he did land on Joseph, even if it was a cuffing shot, you could tell that Joseph was feeling it. But Joseph didn't he didn't cower away. Again, he fought like a warrior. When I felt he should have used his boxing skills more, he stood in front of Zhang, prepared to meet fire with fire. And when he landed on Zhang, because of Zhang's poor defense and Parker's quick hands, it was powerful. So hats off to Joseph Parker. I cannot say enough good things about this guy. I was ringside for his second professional fight, and I actually filmed his entrance, and I interviewed him after the fight. And I was 17 at that time, so I was very experienced with fighters. Excuse me, I was 19 at the time, so I was very experienced with fighters not wanting cameras anywhere near them when they're walking out. And instead, he walked up to me and gave me a fist bump. And afterwards, I even had a beer with him and his team after the fight. He wasn't drinking, but he could not have been a more pleasant human being, and I'm really, really happy for him. He is a credit to the sport of boxing, never ducks a challenge, takes on the tough fights. If he was a trash talker, this guy would be propped up as the greatest thing in boxing, but he's not, and he's just a very humble man, and you can't be more happy for him. Like, he's really earned this opportunity, and there's going to be a rematch. I'm sure Zhilei will want it, and I'm sure he's going to be calling for better judges. But again, aside from that one judge who had it 115-111 for Parker, the judges were good in this fight. So hats off to Joseph Parker. Let me know what you guys think down below. How did you score it? Were you surprised by Joseph Parker's tactics as I was? And how do you think a rematch goes? Catch you guys later. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more.